Have you ever stepped out of the shower, looked in the mirror, and thought to yourself, "I'm doing everything right. Why does my skin still itch? Why do I feel sore? What am I missing?" If you've ever had a strange rash pop up or a lingering irritation that just won't go away, you're not alone. Most seniors over 70 take their hygiene seriously. But there are certain areas of the body that are often forgotten, and it's costing them more than they realize. Small things, quiet things, the back of the ear, a fold of skin, a place we stopped paying attention to decades ago. But these overlooked spots are breeding grounds for bacteria and infection, especially as our bodies age. And for some people, the consequences can be more serious than just a rash. Take George, for example. George is 76 and lives just outside Kansas City. A few months ago, he started noticing a strange smell. Nothing strong, just something faint behind his ears. He brushed it off as nothing until it turned into soreness, then redness, and finally a painful infection that needed antibiotics. When his doctor asked him, "Do you clean behind your ears every day?" George paused and realized he hadn't, not since he was a kid. That one tiny habit, forgotten, was enough to let bacteria take hold. So today, we're going to walk through 5 body parts that need daily attention, not just because they get dirty, but because if you don't clean them, they can lead to serious infections. This isn't about shaming anyone. It's about caring for your body in a way that's respectful, gentle, and wise. Because after 70, our skin is thinner, our immune system slows down, and the margin for error gets a little smaller. The good news? A few mindful changes in your daily wash routine can protect you in powerful ways. So let's begin, not with fear, but with understanding. Because your health is worth protecting, and your body still deserves care. As we grow older, our skin becomes less elastic. It produces less oil. What used to be a resilient layer of protection becomes thinner, drier, and more delicate. Scratches take longer to heal. Bruises show up faster. And when bacteria settle in a place we didn't clean well, our body struggles to fight it off the way it once did. What makes this even more tricky is that many seniors have reduced flexibility. You might not be able to reach your feet like you used to. Lifting your arms above your head may not be comfortable. These physical changes make it easier to miss spots, even when you think you're washing thoroughly. And then there's something no one likes to talk about: shame. Some people feel too embarrassed to ask for help. Others assume, "I don't go out much. What's the point in washing so carefully?" But hygiene isn't just about how we smell or how we look. It's about preventing infections that could land us in a hospital bed. Every year, thousands of seniors are admitted to hospitals due to infections caused by poor hygiene in areas they didn't even realize needed more attention. That's why this conversation matters. Not to scare you, not to overwhelm you, but to remind you that your body is still sacred, still worthy of care, still alive. And sometimes it's not the big things that make the biggest difference. It's the small things you do every day. Let's start with something simple. Behind the ears. It's a quiet space, out of sight, out of mind, but behind the ears is a perfect spot for sweat, oils, and dead skin to collect. If you wear glasses or hearing aids, this area becomes even more important. Mild bacteria begin to grow when that buildup sits there day after day. You may not see it. You may not even smell it at first, but eventually it irritates the skin, leading to redness, soreness, and in some cases, a painful infection that requires medical care. Mary, 81, from Boise, shared her story during a routine checkup. She'd developed a patch of flaky skin behind one ear that she kept scratching. She assumed it was dry skin or maybe the weather, But when her nurse looked closely, it was actually a low-grade bacterial infection that had been building for weeks, all because she'd been rinsing her hair, washing her face, but forgetting that one small spot. So, how do you clean it? Gently. Use a soft cloth with warm water and mild soap. Reach behind each ear. Wipe along the crease, especially where the ear connects to the head. If you wear glasses, take them off during this part. Wearing hearing aids? Remove them and softly clean the skin underneath. After that, rinse well and dry carefully with a soft towel. That's all it takes, just 1 minute a day. But that simple routine can save you weeks of discomfort or even something more serious. Now, let's move a bit lower, to the folds of your body. For many older adults, moisture often collects under the breasts, beneath the belly, or along the sides of the torso. This happens more often if you sit for long periods, wear loose-fitting clothes, or live in a warm climate. But here's the problem. Moisture creates the perfect place for fungus to grow. And where there's fungus, there's itching, redness, and if you ignore it, even infection. Robert, 78, learned this the hard way. Living in humid Florida, he noticed redness under his belly that he brushed off as simple sweat irritation. But over time, it cracked open. By the time he went to the doctor, he had a full-blown fungal infection that took nearly a month to heal. His doctor told him something he never forgot. Wherever skin touches skin, you need to wash and dry thoroughly. Cleaning these areas isn't hard, but it does take mindfulness. Gently lift the fold with one hand. With the other, use a soft cloth or your hand to wash with warm, soapy water. Don't scrub, just glide. Then rinse, and this is the most important part, pat dry. If you can't comfortably reach these spots, use a long-handled sponge, or ask a caregiver for assistance. There's no shame in asking for help when it comes to your health. Even powders made for sensitive skin can help keep these areas dry throughout the day. Just make sure they're fragrance-free and dermatologist approved. Next, let's talk about something few people think about until there's a problem: your toes. The space between your toes is small, cramped, and usually covered in socks or shoes all day. That means it stays warm and dark, perfect for bacteria and fungus. And yet, many people, especially seniors, don't wash between their toes. Linda, 72, had been a nurse for over 30 years. She took good care of her health, but after developing diabetes in her 60s, she noticed her feet were becoming more sensitive. One day, she found a painful crack between her toes. What she thought was dry skin turned out to be a mild infection that, if left untreated, could have become dangerous given her condition. If you're diabetic, this part is even more critical. Infections in the feet can spread quickly and become severe. Here's how to prevent that. When you shower or bathe, take a moment to gently wash each toe and the skin between them. Use your fingers or a soft cloth. After rinsing, dry between the toes completely. You can even use a rolled tissue or cotton swab to get into the tiny spaces if you struggle with flexibility. After the toes, let's move up to something very few seniors think about at all: the belly button. It's small, it doesn't get a lot of attention, but your belly button is a little pocket. And like any pocket, it collects lint, sweat, bacteria, and oils. Some people have even developed minor infections here that began with a little itching and ended with discharge or soreness. All it takes is one extra step during your wash. Use a warm, damp washcloth and gently clean inside your belly button. If you haven't cleaned it in a while, a Q-tip dipped in warm, soapy water can help loosen any buildup. Then rinse and dry. It only takes a few seconds. And finally, the area that matters most: your groin. This is often the hardest place to talk about, but one of the most important to keep clean, especially after 70. The groin is full of folds, sensitive skin, and areas where moisture builds up. Bacteria love that. So do fungi. In men, unwashed groin areas can lead to jock itch or even bacterial infections that cause discomfort, odor, or worse. In women, unclean skin folds or missed rinsing can cause irritation and yeast infections. George, who we met earlier, didn't just have an infection behind his ears. His doctor also found signs of irritation in the groin, a result of poor rinsing and sweat buildup. Here's how to care for this part of your body with dignity and ease. Use a gentle, fragrance-free soap. Wash the outer areas gently. Rinse thoroughly. Then, most importantly, dry completely. If needed, use a clean towel or pad with soft tissue. You want to avoid leaving any moisture in the area, especially where the skin folds over. And remember, never insert soap into any part of your body. Clean the outer skin. Keep it simple. Keep it safe. If you experience itching, rash, or unusual odor that doesn't go away, speak to your doctor. You deserve comfort, not shame. Now that we've covered the 5 areas, behind the ears, under folds, between toes, belly button, and groin, let's look at a few extra tips to make your routine even better. Use a mild, pH-balanced soap. Avoid strong fragrances. Choose soft, absorbent towels. Wash daily, not with force, but with care. If you have trouble reaching, invest in assistive tools like long-handled sponges, or talk to a loved one or caregiver you trust. Set reminders on your phone. Put a checklist in your bathroom. You're not being forgetful, you're just being human. And always, always remind yourself, taking care of your hygiene is not vanity. It's health. It's strength. It's self-respect. Infections often start in silence, but so does healing. You've learned the 5 body parts. You've heard the stories. Now it's your turn. Give your body the attention it deserves. If this video helped you in any way, give it a like. It really supports the channel. And if you'd like more simple, caring advice made for your stage of life, consider subscribing. We're here for you. Because even at 70, 80, or beyond, you're still here, and your body is still a home worth caring for. Every day, every wash, one gentle moment at a time.